doesn't want it to exist, and it's a constant clash of forces. Constant clash. Now, you might say that, okay, I have my work, I have a bad boss, or I have a bad team member, and that's a great struggle. Yeah, that's your struggle. But there is much more like that. The guy on the street, the vegetable vendor, he doesn't have food to eat. He has to sell his lemons so that he can go, feed his children that night. Right? It's an eternal struggle. Right? Now, this eternal struggle is not permanent, and life moves ahead because of this temper of the Kshatriyahood, the hero. You wake up in the morning and you don't want to budge. You want to go back into the bed. And there is something in you, in whatever form that impulse comes, right? Whether it says, okay, I have to do work, I have to go attend this particular event. The various reasons you convince yourself and you come out. These are all just very diluted, very clouded manifestations of this Kshatriya temper. This Kshatriya temper that says, I need to move forward. I need to move forward. And I can't let the status quo continue. Whatever it is, at whatever level of detail. Everything, right? Now, this Kshatriyahood, and not the, if someone's going to tell me, sorry to whoever is watching online or will watch this in the future, whoever tells me that the Rajput is the Kshatriya and the Devar is the Kshatriya, or whatever, caste combination is the Kshatriya, I feel like laughing. It's got nothing to do with Kshatriya, right? Kshatriyahood is a quality that's present in everybody. In everybody. It doesn't matter, you're Indian, you're American, you're Russian, you're a gypsy. It doesn't matter. Kshatriyahood is the temper of the hero, a temper that looks at honor, chivalry, gratitude, and an impulse to perfection. The Kshatriya is not satisfied with piddly little goals, right? He says, okay, I'll eat idli vada today. That's not how the Kshatriya is thinking. The Kshatriya says, I'm a beggar, but I'm going to have a buffet, And what do I have to do to get to the buffet? He says, I have to conquer goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, and then I get the buffet, and the guy goes and does it. He says, tell me the steps, I'll do it. I'll do it, right? I'll do it, I'll go hit the goal. I'll hit the big goal. That temper is there in all of us. In all of us. Right? Now, why is this important? Why should we even be bothered about this notion of Kshatriyahood at all? So I'll just pause that question. I'll come back to it in just a moment. But let me just shift back to another point in our timeline, right? And what is that point? And that point is during 19-something, 1905, 8, whatever. I don't remember the dates. I'm bad at dates. But it's funny, right? We can shift back into a million years and wonder what happened, and I can't remember a few dates. Anyway, during the time period 1900-something, there was another man, right? When I say another man, I want you to keep this in your mind's eye, right? I want you to keep this in your mind's eye. Life has flowed like a wave, right? And in this wave, think of it also like a graph, right? In this wave, there were a few spikes. The brave fish, the man monkey, the seeker, Vishwamitra, each one of them are going and testing the very limits of what is possible. They've gone and pushed the threshold a little further, right? Now, similarly, there was someone, 1900-something, and this someone was Sri Aurobindo, who was fighting for India's freedom. He was trying to fight the British and so on. And he stood and confronted this problem, this same problem. What is this? Where is the yardstick? Where is the yardstick of conduct? What can I use? right? What can I use to, for various reasons, make my country free, answer the profound questions for myself, and so on. He confronted the same question, right? Now think about it, right? Because Sri Aurobindo is doing this in 1900 something, right? He has the benefit of history. Now what do we mean by benefit of history? There was the Buddha who looked at this same problem and said, aha, I have a solution. I have a solution. And what is that solution? He said, there is a point in consciousness where if I go be seated, I see all of these, I saw that all of this was an illusion. This didn't exist. This pain was an illusion. And he said, this place where I can go seat myself in consciousness, he named it as nirvana. He said, go sit there and all of this vanishes. It goes off, right? Now Buddha is nirvana. Now Sri Aurobindo, being who he is not going to be happy with running away from the problem. Sri Aurobindo said, that's running away. Me, Aurobindo, attaining nirvana means that the world still is. The world still is. With all its suffering, with all its cruelty, with all its imperfection, the world is still the same. And he said, so no, we can imagine, right? You would have probably said, thank you, dear Buddha. Your method had its time and place, but I'm not going to be happy with that. That's not good enough, right? And again, you had Shankara. I know that the traditional lot is not going to be happy with the statement of mine, or rather, it's not my statement, it's Sri Aurobindo's statement. But even if you're not happy with me, I'm not bothered. But Sri Aurobindo tells Shankara many things, but I won't get into that just now. He says, Mayavada, a restatement of Buddha's position. Only the Buddha denied the Veda, but Shankara did not, right? But eventually it's just the same. You call all of existence as Maya, as illusion. And all the famous metaphor, right? A rope seen in the night is like a snake, and hence you are afraid, and if the light is thrown, if the light of knowledge is thrown, all of that is very nice logical argument. It doesn't remove the difficulty. You attained samadhi, whatever samadhi, right? Nirvikalpa samadhi, savikalpa samadhi, all of that fun stuff. You escaped, you went and sat above, far above, you went and sat above, but what about life? What about your old mother? What about your vagabond child? What about the cruel king? What about the fool who wants to be PM? Whoever, right? All of that remains. Death remains. Death remains. So Sri Aurobindo said, Mayavada of Shankara, Advaita said, not good enough. Not good enough. The release is for myself, but life still suffers, right? The release is individual. So if you do sadhana, you meditate, you get to that high state of consciousness, you got out from the play. But even your very body is still afflicted by disease. Even if you attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi, your body still rots. Your body still aches. When you get to a particular point in age, your bones start to creak. Now Sri Aurobindo said, what sort of divine is this that will allow my body to rot? Why? What is this? Forget the whole social problem. I attained nirvana, I escaped everything, but even my body is stuck here below. And Sri Aurobindo, I like to phrase it that way, right? Looked at this problem and said, this can't be the solution. This can't be it, or at least this is not the solution for me. I'm not going to be satisfied with it, right? And it is at that point we like to think that Sri Aurobindo turns his gaze and looks back at the past. I'm just greatly simplifying this, right? He looks at the past, and what does he see? He has crossed Shankara. He has said, not good. Buddha, not good. And leave alone other little boys, right? You know, there have been various spiritual traditions, but amongst the living traditions, it's the Sanatana Dharma that has an unbroken line of continuous practice and accomplishments. Nothing was good enough. Nothing, right? But this gaze went further and further, and it fell, his eyes fell on the Veda, right? And for those of you who only know of the Veda as, you know, holy book, da 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 da, or whose only exposure to the Veda is the homa or yajna that you do at home, or you have watched in a temple, it's not even a trillionth portion diluted version of what the Veda is, right? When they say that the Veda is a book of rituals and all of that, I don't want to use any bad words, but the traditional view of the Veda being mantra that has to be chanted while performing your yajna, it's a very, very limited view, very, very limited view. So when Sri Aurobindo's eyes fell on the Veda, he found that the Vedic rishis had confronted the same problem, and their solution, unlike the Buddha, was not to run away, and unlike Shankara, was not to say that this damn thing is an illusion. No, the Vedic rishi, and one of the mantras actually goes like this, right? They basically say, translated or paraphrased into English, they basically say, we are the sons of heaven by the body of the earth. They're very clear. The Vedic Rishi is extremely clear. He says, we are the son of heaven and nothing lesser. Son of heaven, but by the body of the earth, he says, both of these hemispheres, the lower hemisphere making up the body and everything below it, and the higher hemisphere, let's think of it that way, right? He says it's in the fusion of both that perfection, life can be perfected, and they had attempted this problem of making something of the higher light come and be established in the body. No running away, no illusion. This guy is saying, I want to conquer this. You will find this theme repeated or asserted in the Rig Veda, especially again and again. The guy does not want to run away. He has no fear. He has manifested, again, what we like to think of as the Kshatriya impulse. The guy refuses to budge. The guy refuses. He says, I will not agree that this body is unchangeable, that this life is unchangeable. I will not agree to it. He says there has to be a method, and that method I will find. And that was the quest of the Vedic Rishi. And Sri Aurobindo's eyes falls on it, and he finds a confirmation, an affirmation of his intuition that this need not be left to rot. It need not be. The methods that most spiritual systems follow, escape, run away, there is a heaven, you go sit there and then everything will be nice, but here it'll all be deep shit, right? Now Sri Aurobindo says, no, this has to be perfected. What is here below has to be perfected, will be perfected, and that's the method that we are looking at. And what is the trait, again, that unites all of these in one single sort of unbroken thread, so to speak? The trait is that of the Kshatriyahood, the temper of the hero, the one who looks at a problem and who says, I'm not going to let this be, this we have to conquer. Now, I'll leave this historic thread as it is. I'll come back to our current times. So, what do we have to do with this, right? Why us? What do we have to do? Even at the very most basic level, we all would happily acknowledge that we are not leading a life of roses and sipping honey from wine glasses or whatever, right? The Kurukshetra is here too, we struggle too, and so on and so forth, right? Now, I just want to remind a very key statement in the Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita, right, from Sri Krishna. What's that key statement? The key statement, he says, I'm there as I'm basically everything. In whatever form you approach me, he very specifically says, I will firm up, I will establish your faith in that form, right? And so on and so forth. I'll lead you to, fulfillment in that path. But he says, but if you ask for me, then I will establish your faith in me, not in a facet of me, not in a diluted portion of me, but I will establish your faith in me, right? Now, why is this important? When we approach life from a religious perspective or a spiritual perspective, when we approach life saying, oh God, give me peace, that's what most of the New Age meditation movements, I want to be mindful and I want peace. What do you do with peace? You can't buy potatoes with peace. Peace is good, but you need power, you need knowledge, you need light. You need a knowledge that can act unerringly. That's what you need. Now, when you go ask peace from Krishna, he says like, dude, are you a bloody idiot? Are you an idiot? Ask for more. Ask for more. Right? Because more is possible. The Vedic Rishi didn't ask for peace. He said, give me sons, give me victory in war, give me wealth. He says, come and be established in my body. That's what he prayed for. Now, when you aspire in sadhana for peace, you get peace, a sterile peace. What do you do with sterile peace? It is the peace of a desert. You can't do a damn thing with it, right? You need power, you need knowledge, you need light, wisdom to act, to wisdom to make something new, right? To build something new, to push humanity forward, to push yourself forward. Now, we like to think that the Kshatriyahood principle is unconsciously at work in everybody, in all of life. But if we chose to consciously aspire for it, more will be made possible. The attempt, the thought, the urge to do, to accomplish, not as a means to aggrandize or blow up your ego, saying I'm such an awesome guy, but this not to blow up or aggrandize your ego, saying I'm such an awesome guy, but to use work, to use this opportunity, this life, this battlefield, these warriors who are arrayed against you, who are standing on the opposite side of you, who are standing inside you. The Kauravas are everywhere now, right? They are in your thought, they are outside, they are everywhere. Now, you choose to take a stand, and just like the Kurukshetra 5,000, 7,000 years ago, Krishna is there, right? As tangibly as you are ready to perceive him, Krishna is always there. Which means that if we chose to manifest this Kshatriyahood, when I say we, everybody, right? This Kshatriyahood, ask Sri Krishna for aid, for the knowledge, be prepared to train like Arjuna for perfection, push yourself, don't be satisfied with mediocrity, and have the head a little open and send a call out to whichever form you like, but of course whatever Krishna said holds. Have your head open and be prepared to see what comes in. Not just whatever you have done up until now. Whatever you have done up until now, you, everybody, right? I'm a technologist, I'm this, I'm that, That is sort of born in time, right? Your evolutionary curve has brought you this far, and you have done a little bit of this and that, but that can't be the purpose, the entire purpose of life. A life which throughout a Vishwamitra, Michelangelo and a Sri Aurobindo is not going to be satisfied with Mahesh CR, right? It says more. It says more. There's an unending hunger. Agni has not stopped. He is still pushing evolution forward. He says more, right? And to be open to this more, to open yourself to this more, right? There is a technique. There is a way to follow it. There's a way to practice it. And this is not theoretical nonsense, right? Saying you'll get to heaven, you'll have moksha after death. I mean, you could be bullshitting for all I care, right? I don't know what this moksha is. I don't know what this heaven is. If there is a moksha, I need to know it in my body. And it is knowable. It is a very specific psychological condition where you can perceive all the intangible realities that you have accepted by faith. That you have a soul and you have a spirit and there is a God. All of that can be experienced. And until you have experienced it, it means you have not accomplished, you have not attained the goal. Moksha can be had in the body. So if someone says, my grandmother died, she attained moksha. Bullshit. My grandmother definitely didn't get to moksha, right? Moksha doesn't work that way, right? Any jackass who dies doesn't go on to become moksha, It doesn't work that way. The soul travels. The soul travels. So why am I emphasizing this point? We are emphasizing this point because we want to drop some of the superstitions that have come to be accumulated in Hinduism, especially, right? The rest are not even worth commenting, so I won't speak about them. I'll speak of Hinduism. In Hinduism, there is this superstition that you die and then you get to moksha. And I say, bollocks, that's not a moksha I want. If there is a moksha, if there is a Vrindavan, I need to see it with my eyes wide open. No dope, no alcohol, no mental imaginations, no. In a calm, collected mind, wide awake, I need to see it. I need to see it. And here's the point. Some of us have seen it. Some of us have experienced it. We exactly know how it works. If there is a moksha, a condition of acting in freedom from the divine's light, it has come. We, as I said, we know it. Which means that if you are accepting the normal way of looking at Hinduism, as in, I went to this temple, I had a great darshan, and you're very happy, and you could skip the queue, and some pujari gave you a special entrance right to the Garbhagriha or the Moolasthana or the Sanctum Sanctorium, and you're delighted, saying, oh, God is very happy with me. No, God is not happy with you. God doesn't even bloody acknowledge that you're there. That was a bloody queue driven by a bunch of humans. You probably bribed the fellow to get inside. That is not darshan. Darshan is when Shiva comes and manifests in front of you, in you. Shiva comes in and you are transported in that very moment to a time and place that feels like Kailasha. You are there with him on the mountaintop, right? On the top of Kailasha. You are there. Everything, the world has fallen silent. Everything falls silent. Your body goes chill. You are in the snow and you are in front of the Ishvara. You are in front of him. That experience is possible. You don't have to abandon the world. You don't have to become a sannyasi. You don't have to run away. You can continue your work and you can have that experience. Now that is darshan. Anything else, you're only fooling yourself. It's a preparatory act, which is good, better than nothing, but that's not it. The gods, all the gods, whether it's Apollo or whether it's Ra, whether it's Indra, everyone can be seen, everyone can be known, everyone can be manifest in you. And that was Sri Aurobindo's practice. I mean, you can go check his record of yoga, his secret of the Veda and all of the works. No bullshitting, no giving camphor to the god and saying, oh, I did puja today, he was so happy with me. Bullshit. He's not happy with you. He's probably laughing at you, thinking what a moron you are, right? God is probably laughing, saying, dude, I'm bloody sitting here and you're happy because you saw some toenail of me or whatever, right? Nah, that's not good enough. You're not asking for more. And this asking for more is the Kshatriya principle, right? It's the Arjuna principle. The Arjuna principle where he asks the Drona, I will do whatever you want, but make me a best warrior in the world. Make me the best warrior in the world. I'll do anything for you, right? I'll do anything. Any discipline, every discipline can be done, but make me the best. Similarly, our prayer, our aspiration to Sri Krishna needs to go that way, saying, I will do anything, any sadhana, any tapasya, I will do it. But come, do not send your minions, do not send your angels to me. I'm not going to be satisfied. Do not send them. You come down to me personally. Whether it's Indra you want to call, whether it's Sri Krishna you want to call, whether it's Sri Rama you want to call. I don't want to, I like all the guys, right? I mean, I say, Meera is good, but what is it to me? It doesn't mean anything to me. Meera saw Krishna. She could call him whenever he wanted. He came. Similarly, we need to get there. And that getting there will not happen if our aspiration is tamasic. It will not happen if you are too sattvic also. You need the Rajas principle, right? You need the Kshatriyahood. You need it. You need to be the hero. It says, I will put this effort, I will manifest this tapasya, but I'm not going to take stickers or, little flags with your face on it. I'm not going to take it. What do I want? I want you. And you have to come. And when you say the deity has to manifest, whether seen externally, seen internally, what stops you, right? Whatever the rishis got, whatever Sri Aurobindo got, you could aspire for it. Whether it's given to you or not is a different issue. But to begin with is the aspiration, not this bullshit about peace. There is a nobody here, there is this and there is that bullshit. Life is still here. Life is still here. Suffering is here. It has to be conquered. And any solution that makes me wait post-death, I'd like to call bullshit, right? Doesn't work. It has to work here. It has to work here. It has to work when I'm alive. It has to work when I'm young, not when I'm 80, right? What do I do, right? So I'll just summarize this very quickly, right? We have misunderstood life. There is a great principle that has been the undercurrent of all existence, starting from the very first fish, man, monkey, seeker, Vishwamitra, Sri Aurobindo. There is a particular line of development, there's a line of evolution. Life has moved thus far. And if we ask of it pittance, it will give you only pittance. If you say, I'm content to be a beggar, it says, okay, dude, it's your call, be a beggar. What's it to me, right? But if you insist, like Sri Aurobindo, like Vishwamitra, saying, no, there has to be more, and it has to be done through me also. Not an egoistic thing, right? I mean, if all the big boys, if Vivekananda was great, it's good for Vivekananda. We don't have anything against him, right? If Mozart did good music, it's good for Mozart. We like to enjoy it also. Good for him. But what have we done? We can do. That's the point. Maybe not do as good a music as Mozart, but we'll have to figure out what is it. And if we don't try, we won't know. That quest for excellence, that quest for perfection, that quest to manifest something of us. We have become very unambitious, right? We Indians, Hindus, we have become very unambitious. Yeah, our ambition is like, to do more. You have to do more, and not just to your family or whatever, right? To leave a legacy that's worth remembering, that's worth preserving, that will inspire people, right? And we believe that the Kshatriyahood principle is what is going to help you do it, is going to help you shatter whatever limitations that you have put upon yourself. There is a particular method to aspire and work for, where you can get more than peace. And that method is what Sri Aurobindo taught by his life and in all his works and by his integral yoga. The yoga is doable. You don't have to run away. You don't have to be a monk. You don't have to wait until you retire. You can start from where you're starting now, where you are now. And the gods are not a myth. A god that you will see after death is probably not a god at all. The gods can be seen. In this age, in this time, we have seen, some of us, right? Many, many times. So Hindus need to go about this with a little more courage and confidence. Courage and confidence, saying this is not a myth. There is more possible, and I'm not going to be satisfied with second-hand, third-hand impressions of what God was. I'm not happy singing what Andal sang, right? I want to sing my song for Krishna, right? It's mine, what I composed, that came out of my devotion. I want to see him firsthand, hold hands with him, walk with him, probably lay my head upon his shoulder, right? Everyone can get it. It's doable. The yoga is not a myth. So, and Kshatriyahood temper is what will take you there, right? Courage, impulse to action, honor, chivalry, and so on and so forth. So with that, I'll bring this to a close. I think we have sort of exceeded. No, I think we have kept it to the time limit. It's exactly to the hour. This recording will be made available online. If there are questions, please write to us at kalisbrood@gmail.com. We're happy to answer questions on wherever we are, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So with that, thank you. Hare Krishna.